We start this video with Blue Speed Skulls dying as ledge guard, which launches into a discussion with Felix about defensive churn.
That warrior was also last, so
Mm.
now they have to be on ledge duty.
Mm.
Churn on defense is one thing that is that kills a lot of newer teams.
Yeah.
With experienced ledge guards, right? Like there's a saying, right? It's like it's better to let one berry in than die, right?
Yeah.
I'm greedy and overconfident, so I say it's better to kill the drone who's holding the berry and live, but you can't have it all sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to make a video about that before where it's like when you're a defensive guard, a lot of people at the beginning, their mentality is I have to stop every berry from getting in. But that's not actually the goal. The goal is to delay the berries long enough in order for your objective to win out. So yeah, you see that a lot where it's like I would say this is a thing for like newer players or like not like top tier level players. It's just like they actually don't like value their lives as much as they probably should. They think that like they can get back up and there's like time to do these sorts of things. But I think if everybody valued their life a little bit more, I think it would be like
especially on defense, right? And these gold warriors are particularly Chicago warriors are particularly adept at getting these hive clears, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be extra mindful of the situation.
Yeah. I think going back here, I think that let's see. I feel like Blue Queen kind of leaves their warrior out to dry a little bit here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, at this point, I'm trying to pause. Okay, at this point, it's like you kind of have to force this over, right? Because you're down warriors and you're probably trying to get people up on right. But I think the Blue Queen gets a little bit spooked when the Queen starts to come, and I think they're gonna get in a pinch situation where it's like you kind of can't leave. The time I'm talking about is probably right about let's see, as the Queen comes through. Oh, I guess they do get a warrior up here. But like right now, diving out right now, I don't think is the move. It's like you kind of have to. It's hard to say, but I feel like if this warrior died, I would put like a little bit of the blame on the Queen here too.
Yeah. Right? So I'd say definitely. So this is one thing that's sort of counterintuitive with berry defense, right? It's like every other time it's like Queen, go do something else, or like I have it. When the Queen comes, there's no defense for that objective or for that ledge guard, right? The ledge guard has to leave. If you want in this situation, like you don't really want them to get any more ahead on these berries. So the Queen has to stay. The Queen has to fight off at the very least, keep the other Queen off of the ledge. And the ledge has to try and live against the other clear, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, neither of us play too much Queen, so I think it's like a hard thing to really feel out. But yeah, I think at the beginning levels of Queen, you kind of are told like all you have to do is tag gates. But then as you like evolve a little bit more, there's like much more nuances to these situations.
Yeah. Right? No, there's a time for the warrior for the Queen to stay and fight.
Yeah.
Okay. So go back a little bit. Okay. So this is sort of a situation where the queen being here is, really important, right? And she's here. But she tries to bail when there's a lot of people coming, right? She feels the pressure.
Yeah.
And I think holding the ceiling was more correct in that circumstance, right? Force the warriors to come to you, force the enemy Queen to come to you. Yes, you will get into a chase at the end where you have to sort of play chicken with one of the warriors to get out.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the nature of it, right? Like as long as you are doing that and those three pieces are invested in you and not your ledge guard, like that ledge guard is stopping those berries.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, this is a concept that I think is really valuable that is really hard to explain too, which is um like sometimes you have to make the other team make a play.
Yeah.
And you also have to feel okay when there's pressure around you, especially as queen. Like warriors too, but probably queen especially. It's like you have to be able to feel what the differences between like certain pixels of spacing are. It's like if you bail too quickly on a situation, you put other people at risk of being able to be cleared out. If you can wait like a little bit longer because you know that the pressure can actually kill you, it's actually quite important, right? So it's like sometimes when you play queen, it's like I don't think they're gonna stitch me. I don't think they can do that.
Yeah.
And you kind of just have to stay in that situation. And then if they're able to make the play, then you're just like, okay, they made a good play. But a lot of times, like you have to recognize like when you're actually in danger and when you're not. And that's like a really hard thing for people to do.
Because in this case, Blue Queen needed to force the play. Right. Yeah.
And then, as a new queen, there's a lot of pressure because you feel like, oh, I don't want to lose this game for my team. But that is again like to the point of the video. That is the difference between a high level game and like a middle level game, where it's like sometimes the queen has to be able to make plays. The queen has to clean up a lot of the kills that the warriors push into them. Yeah. At some point, it becomes not about tagging gates that much anymore.
Yeah, right? It is like that ultimate use of the queen to the queen is sort of like. I know a lot of queens are like, I'm just the support character. Yeah. But those same queens are also the ones who can make the most ridiculous plays that you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the queen is probably still the most powerful piece on the board. Yeah. Right. Like their support is obviously the most important thing, but like the fact is they can neutral the other queen. Yeah. That's the most important thing. They can kill warriors at will, right? Vanilla warriors are almost essentially no threat to a queen. Yeah. Except for like barring the several exceptions that I will not name.
Yeah. I think that's a good there's like a couple things that you said there that I think are super important. One is that like I think a lot of people talk about queen being a support role, but in actuality, I think that just goes into kind of human nature a little bit, where it's like I think a lot of the high level queens they try to downplay like how good they are because it's just like it's like modesty in a way, but like it is super important. Another thing is when you talk about like vanilla warriors and how much of a threat they are, it's a really important thing too. It's just like when I see newer queens play, they're just like super spooked by anybody around them, where it's just like unless there's a queen there, like vanilla warrior is not really gonna do anything. Even if a queen's there, like the threat of like a pinch or anything like that is like super super low. So it's just like you have to feel okay in threatening situations if you want to play queen.
Yeah, no, definitely.